copyright notices. If you wish to read, pause the video. The original videos are linked in the description down below. Enjoy. Alright then, so in this one what we're going to be looking at is somebody threatened with arrest for not printing off his train ticket. I'm not going to go into all the laws on this one because it's British Transport and it's all bylaws and all that lot. I cannot be bothered going into it. And I can't be bothered with looking for it, all that information. It's not easy to find all the information, especially what they are talking about. But the guy in the video does very well to explain them bylaws to his understanding. So we'll go by his understanding because the police there clearly have no understanding of these bylaws. Because they can't quote not one bylaw, they're just saying it's a bylaw, it's their policy, blah de blah de blah. But we'll get straight into it and I'll just give my opinion on it.
So you just agree that you're happy for me to record the conversation, yeah?
Yes.
Well, very pleased to see you this morning. How are you doing?
Thank you. And yourself?
A little bit agitated. I haven't been allowed free travel to get from here to Lime Street.
Free travel in
Well,
what?
to go about my business. I'm being denied exit from the station.
Right. Have you purchased a ticket
Yes.
where you boarded the train?
I purchased the ticket and I can
Yeah.
show evidence of that.
Right. Have you printed that ticket
I wasn't
off?
able to get it printed now.
Right. Is there a reason why you were unable to
Yeah,
get it
I
printed
was running
off?
for the train. I have to be in a really important meeting in Reading, and I had to run to get the train because it was going to cause me enormous problems if I didn't get that train and was delayed for that really important meeting in Reading.
Right.
And I thought, quite reasonably,
Yeah.
that I've paid for a ticket.
Yeah.
I can prove I paid for a ticket. I can prove I've got the code for the ticket. And I literally, as I've said to these people, all I need to do is to go there to get that ticket and to show these people the ticket that I have purchased and paid for. And they're denying me an ability to do that. I understand their reasoning. All I'm saying is I've paid for a ticket. So my belief is that in law, I can show I've had no intent to defraud anybody.
Yeah.
I haven't travelled this network trying to travel without a ticket, and I can evidence that.
I don't know how all this works. I refuse to get a train. I would rather drive or ride my motorbike. It's as simple as that. I can have more fun driving or riding my motorbike than sat on a train. If I'm on my motorbike, I can get it up on the back. Well, I shouldn't really say that, but yeah, I can go a lot faster. I can pull wheelies and do stupid stuff, which I like to do on private roads. I'll get that in there on private roads. I wouldn't do it on a public road, on private roads. But I can have more fun doing that in my car or on my motorbike rather than on a train and have to deal with this sort of headaches. No waiting, no delays, nothing like that. I can just jump in and off I go. So in this opinion, I'm not 100% sure on what it's like. I have got a train once before from Derby back home to Hull. I didn't print my ticket off and they weren't really that fussed. I showed them I had a ticket, I showed them I paid for that ticket, and that was the end of it. They was like, yeah, carry on. They didn't kick me off, they didn't refuse me entry or anything like that. They're just like, alright, and allowed me to carry on.
And so I did not intend to give these people my personal details. I don't believe they're empowered to take them, and I'm not going to give them to you. Should you, of course, arrest me, I will, of course, give you my personal details,
Yeah.
and I will abide by the empowerment that you have. But I think, frankly, I can travel the country, I can go to Reading, I can go to Manchester, I can go all over the place, get a ticket, I can tap my phone on devices. It's only here in Liverpool that we seem to have this archaic system with these people who cause these problems for people who are just trying to pay for tickets and go about their daily business, minding their own business, which is all I'm trying to do.
Right. Okay. Obviously, when you do purchase your ticket on the train line, you do have to tick to the terms and conditions that you have to print it off.
I don't.
Alright then, so she's on about terms and conditions, the box you have to tick. I've just spent like an hour looking for these terms and conditions. I can't get to them because I don't have an account with the train line and I can't be bothered. But I can guarantee those terms and conditions are like 72 pages long. And if anybody's got time when booking a ticket to read 72 pages of terms and conditions, which probably half it's a lot of bullshit anyways, then go for it. But 99% of people don't read the terms and conditions anyways. And if this person, I don't know what the trains are like, if you can just use your phone and display a ticket like that in 99% of the country apart from Merseyside, then how do they expect it? There's not a little box in the 72 thing is what says if you visit Merseyside you definitely need a ticket, blah de blah de blah.
No, nobody ever reads that stuff, do they?
I know, but unfortunately you do need,
Okay.
as you say, on this network here for Merseyrail, they do require you to have the said ticket printed off, ready for inspection at the gate or at the barriers
I take
here.
your point.
Okay then, so she has just said somewhere in them terms and conditions it says on Merseyrail you need your ticket printing off. So I'm on Merseyrail's website. Terms and conditions part 2, it's basically just on about their copyright. Doesn't say anything in here about printing off tickets, it's on about copyright to their website. And that is it. This is their terms and conditions. Put it back here, look, terms and conditions, what come up? Conditions to go, cycles, blah de blah de blah, doesn't say anything about the thingy, refund day ticket. It's just on about refunds. There's nothing here that says you should print off your ticket. So the fact that they're saying on Merseyside's policy it states that, well, run their terms and conditions, look, terms and conditions, it doesn't say that there. It definitely doesn't state it here because that's on about cycles. And it doesn't state it here because this is on about refunding. So she's clearly wrong. And if it is their policy, maybe they should stick it on their website.
Yeah. All I would say is that, anybody can have a policy. Anybody can make a rule. Yeah? Doesn't mean it's a criminal offence, doesn't mean it's a civil offence. I don't believe I've committed an offence. I mean, they may think I've broken their procedures and policies, that's fine. I don't believe I've committed any offence because I've paid money for a ticket to travel and I can prove that.
Yeah,
so where is my offence?
No, but you have got your ticket, but you've not printed the said ticket
so
off.
Where's my civil or criminal offence?
But you should have printed it off before you travelled.
You could say you've got to stand on... Sorry to interrupt.
No, it does say, obviously, on the train stations and on the trains, that you have to have your ticket ready to present to these guys. And if you have it on the phone, which is the actual ticket, yours isn't the actual ticket. Yours is proof to say you've purchased a ticket, but you've not yet you've not yet printed that said ticket off.
I see what you're saying, but my point is slightly different. My point is that what's happened, you could have a rule on the terms and conditions on Merseyrail saying everybody on the train has to stand on one leg, and everybody would have to stand on one leg, and you could threaten people if they didn't stand on one leg. Now that would be crazy, much as this is crazy, but it's not breaking the law if people don't do it. They're breaking your rules, and that's the difference I'm trying to get across to you.
This is their bylaws that it is a ticket period, which we do have to have a said ticket to come onto the station, and for as soon as you board the train, you should have a ticket of travel, unless your train station is closed and then you've taken a picture to say it's closed. Come to these guys and they will sell you a ticket.
It's often closed, it's often nobody there, and then it would be fine.
But you've purchased your ticket already, but unfortunately, because you haven't printed it off, you should have printed it off before you travelled.
So my point to you again is that I've looked at the bylaws, and I may be wrong, but I've read the bylaws, and my understanding of the bylaws is that they say if you break these bylaws, you may be taken to court.
Yeah.
And if you're taken to court, and it can be shown that there's an intent to defraud, you may be prosecuted. Now I can show there was no intent to defraud.
Okay.
So if we go to court, it's all going to be very annoying for me, very embarrassing for Merseyrail, but I can show there was no intent to defraud, so I don't believe that I'm in any kind of situation where I've broken these bylaws. I'm on the train, I paid for the ticket, I'm trying to go about my business, these people are stopping me. All of our problems, it's not your fault.
So all of this is because he didn't print off his ticket. Yeah, he didn't print off his ticket. The biggest crime of the century. He didn't print off his ticket. He paid. He did pay. He just didn't print it off. How pathetic is that? There's a machine behind him where he could go and print off his ticket, but they're not willing to do that because they want to fine him like he didn't pay for a ticket. He paid for a ticket. The ticket is paid for. Now, if I was in this situation, I'll tell Merseyrail to swivel, wait for the police to arrest me, and then tell them to... I'll go off to the cells, let them arrest me, they'll have to fingerprint me to get my details, and that would be the end of it. I'll be like, you want to sue me? Sue me. As simple as that. I paid for a ticket. It's that simple. If they want to fine you for not paying for a ticket, I'd refund my ticket, what I paid for.
I know all of the problems we're having is because you've got these crazy laws bylaws that are about 15 years out of date. The world has moved on. We all buy tickets online. We all represent those on our phones. That's what I'm trying to do, and that's what I'm being stopped from doing.
Can I just explain to you, what my colleagues tried to explain. So the train line tickets, as you said rightly, you have to print out the tickets. If it's not printed out, it's not valid to travel on the train.
I know this is what the lady said to me.
Yeah,
yes.
it's not valid on the train.
And what I'm saying is I paid for a ticket.
Can I just explain to you?
Yes.
What happened is sometimes people buy train line tickets.
Yes.
They don't print it. They do the journey. They complete the journey.
Yes.
What happens is they get refunded.
Well, that would be terrible.
They get refunded.
That would be terrible.
Okay,
Yeah.
so some people does that.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm not saying you do.
No.
Your intention to do that.
Well, specifically,
on these occasions.
Specifically, I asked these people
Right.
to let me go just over there,
Okay.
to print the ticket,
Yeah.
and they would see I'd printed the
Right,
ticket,
okay.
and they
So
would know that it had been
their
paid.
understanding would be
So
if
it's not
they
a problem.
went here, you
Yeah.
would have done the journey,
Well,
and you got the refunded as well from
but
the
of
train
course
line.
they're always
which
here. I
some
mean,
people does that. Okay. So
have you had anybody leaving Liverpool Central Station without paying?
So this PCSO's opinion's absolutely irrelevant as a PCSO. Absolutely irrelevant. Secondly, it's saying, oh, you might request a refund. Well, if you just let him go to the machine and print his ticket, doesn't that take his refund out? No, it does not. Why? Because if you paid on a bank card, what happens? You can bring your bank and do a chargeback. Then they would have to prove that the services that he had paid for wasn't provided, or the goods turned up, or the goods was there. It's as simple as that. This whole thing of defrauding, blah, 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 it's as simple as just getting in touch with your bank, mate. I don't have to request it through the firm at all. I could just get in touch with the bank, request a chargeback. It's as simple as that. It's not hard to do. I've paid for services I haven't received. The company started blanking me. I got in touch with the bank, did a chargeback. He had the money back the same day. So this whole refund thing is absolutely irrelevant. Even if he paid for his ticket, all he has to do is prove that the services he paid for, which paying for that ticket and get riding that train as a service, if it isn't as described to, the service is invalid. It's as simple as that. It's the same as a contract. You buy a car and say you buy it offline from, I don't know, let's go Evan Alshaw's or Motorway or something like that. A company which sells most of the cars online and the car is not as described, you are entitled to your money back. Why? Because the law allows that. If the thing is not as described, then you're entitled to your money back. You pay a ticket and the train is late, you should be entitled to some of your money back. Why? Because the services you paid for was not given.
Because you can't
let me explain.
People.
So at the moment, you travel without the valid tickets.
You're saying that, yes.
Okay. Without, no, I mean,
well, you said
it
that.
is.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's
I
on the
paid for a
terms and
ticket.
conditions, without
Okay,
valid
well,
tickets.
we'll disagree on that.
Now,
that's okay.
You can deal with them as a civil matter, as you say.
Yes.
Yeah. You can give your details to them.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
And if you don't, then the police get involved.
Yep.
Police get involved.
As indeed
the
has
criminal
happened.
matter,
Yes.
where it's dealt as a ticket fraud.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Because I'm not giving these people my details. Because I've paid for a ticket.
This is what's happening now.
There
So I hope you
cannot be
understand.
ticket fraud.
Okay.
Because I've paid for the ticket.
Well,
there's
that's
no
not valid ticket,
there's
sir.
no intention to defraud in law.
Well, we don't know because.
Well, I can prove it. I mean, I can show you the receipt and I can get it printed. There's no intention to
as I
defraud.
say, it's not valid.
Okay, well, you know, if we have...
reliably informed, that's not a valid ticket. It's
Okay.
a reference number for a ticket.
Well, I've had all three of you inform me that.
purchased. You should have
Yeah.
printed your ticket
So-
off before you travelled.
So, can I just go and print the ticket off?
No, you should have done it before you travelled.
Oh, I see.
You
So-
can't travel without
So
a
you're
valid
going to
ticket.
take me to court because you won't let me print a ticket.
So the answer to that question would be yes. It would be under the Frauds Act of 2006 is what they're going to. So fraud. What is fraud? A person is guilty of fraud if he breaches any of the sections listed in subsection 2, which provides the different ways of committing this offence. So it's probably section 2 there, by false representation. It's not going to be failing to disclose information or position of power. So it'll be this one here. A person is in breach of this section if he dishonestly make a false representation and intends by making the representation to make a gain for himself and others, or to cause loss to another, or to expose another to a risk of loss. So that's what I'm gonna go by. He has paid a ticket, so nobody's losing out. Is not there to dishonestly breach anything. So fraud in this case would not work as long as this person did not get a refund or do a chargeback. What the company would probably do is issue him a refund so they could do him under fraud. But if he doesn't make a claim for a refund, it's not fraud, is it? It'll be them giving him a money back to create fraud.
Okay, well, let's do it then. What do we do next?
Obviously, you need to provide your details to these people
I'm not
here.
going to.
Can I just ask, is there a reason why you don't want to?
Yeah, because I don't believe they're empowered to take them, and I don't believe I have to give them to
They
them.
do have the power to take your details.
No, they don't.
They do. They are accredited.
I don't believe that. I'm
Right.
sorry.
Well,
I will give if I'm arrested, I will give my details to the arresting police officer when hearing the basis upon which I'm being arrested, because that will then be used in the court of law.
Right. At the moment, I do have a necessity because you're not failing to provide your details.
So this woman's actually fucking stupid. Did you hear what she just said? I have a necessity because you are not failing to provide details. So is he failing to provide, or is he not failing to provide? This woman has just contradicted herself in 2 sentences straight away. Not just that, she is being outsmarted by a member of the public, which has got her brain all frazzled, as you can see.
Provide my details until I'm arrested.
Yeah. Why would I want to arrest you?
Well, I don't want you to arrest me, but
Yeah,
I
don't want to arrest you and take you to custody.
Yeah,
And
I really
you've
don't
got
want
a
that
meeting
either.
to get to.
I really don't want
I've
that.
still got things to do today,
I'm
obviously.
not going to be pressured into giving people my details. I have a right I have the right to privacy. I will not give people my details and they're pressuring me to do that. I don't believe you have a right to take my details until you arrest me. If you arrest me, if there is a basis for you to arrest me, and you arrest me, and you tell me why I'm being arrested, I will of course comply and I will of course give my details.
Right.
But I will be arrested first before I give that information.
But then, what I'm going to say, if I arrest you, then I take it on a police matter.
Yeah.
Where you provide your details to them.
Yeah.
You fill a complaint form in. You're not happy because of the system. So why don't you write to me, and explain to them?
We really need to change this system, and when this goes on social media, a lot of people are going to start talking about why the system needs to change, because it's broken. I can travel all around the country paying online using my phone.
Yes,
that's
but you
just
haven't
normal.
got the ticket.
I paid for a ticket,
but
and I
that's
can
just
print
the
that
reference
ticket
number.
just over there.
Yes, but you should have
And I can
printed the ticket before you travel.
And you're going to arrest me for that.
Right, say, obviously, we're just going round in circles, aren't we?
We are, yeah.
Right. Just give me 1 minute.
What an absolute waste of everybody's time.
I'm pretty confused what she's saying, because I think she's confused herself. So she's like, I can arrest you, get your details, but then you'd give your details to them. No, he's refusing to give his details to them. So if what you're saying is you will give his details to them, then you are in breach of GDPR, because you're handing over his personal details to a third-party company without his consent. Now, when you sign up for things, it does say tick this box if you give consent to us to hand over your personal details to outside companies. In this case, he would not be ticking no box or giving you consent to hand over his details to anything. What he is saying is, if you are going to arrest him, he will follow the law and give you his details after you have arrested him, which is absolutely brilliant. I'm so glad this guy stood his ground and didn't bow down and lick the feet and do all this shite. Good on you.
These people must have far better things to do than wasting their time with me for this kind of thing. These rules really need to change, because, you know, we're so far behind the rest of the country in Liverpool. It's quite unbelievable, you know. So the lady who spoke to me now doesn't seem to be arresting me. I'm not entirely sure if she's legally empowered to arrest me as British Transport Police. That's up in the air. She seems to be on the phone, so I'm suspecting that she may be calling the police, who may then come to talk to me and come to arrest me. So this is just even more of a waste of everybody's time. But fundamentally, I don't believe that I should be required to give anybody my details unless they're a duly empowered police officer and I'm being arrested for some kind of crime, which I don't believe I've committed in any way, shape or form, because there was no intent for me to defraud. And I can show that and I can prove that.
So unfortunately, this video ends there. I don't know the outcome of the video. I don't know what happened after that, if he got arrested or not. Probably not, because I don't think that that's stupid. He said he'll go over and buy a ticket. He'll print his ticket off. He's already paid for his ticket. All he has to do is go over and print it off. The people what are scamming people here, the train fare, the train lines, you pay in, he's probably paid, what, 60, 70 quid for a single there, maybe a return, I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know train prices, I know it's not cheap. For a service which is not even adequate to be charging these prices. You get put in a rickety old train, the railway's late, some of them don't turn up, they try fobbing you off with a bus, like, well actually, this train's not running no more, we'll put you on a coach and take you there, but if you look at the train fares, you can get a coach for half the price of the train, so they're going to refund you for half the money and give you compensation for the inconvenience? Probably not. This is what's wrong with the train fares, this is why I will not get a train. I haven't had the last time I got on a train, I was, what, 17, I think, if that. So, yes, I will not get on a train. I won't provide my money to these scum, these this fraud company which call themselves the train line. I will not do it. All this is just my opinion. Let us know in the comments down below what you thought of this interaction. As always, like the video, it does open YouTube's algorithm, and I'll catch you on the next one.